Hello, Dr. Milligan. My name is Lee Brown. I'm submitting this for my final project for the English 1123 class. This is my infographic entitled Prepare for a Frictionless World, where the employee is the friction. This is in response to the article that I wrote about in week 2, entitled The Future of Commerce Belongs to the Frictionless. As you may have noted in my paper at that time, I commented on the hazards to the employee, but also some side benefits to the employee, as well as benefits to the employer, where the original work focused almost exclusively on the benefits to the employer and the employee. So you will notice on my opening here that I used a kind of a dark gray tone. You see the robot back there holding the world in its palm, so to speak, kind of trying to portray an ominous type of feel. And as I proceed through the infographic, you'll notice that I have a kind of an institutional type gray background. I didn't want a whole lot of distraction going on in the background. I really wanted the facts to kind of speak out. And along those lines, you'll also notice, aside from the title and a couple of quotes throughout the infographic, I used a sans no frills type of wording, font style. And you'll see here that I focused in on a Gallup poll in 2018, where 70% of Americans believe that AI will eliminate more jobs than it creates. And I underline and emphasize that research supports that concern. So it's not just some unbased paranoia. You'll see here that I used red and yellow to kind of highlight the high and medium risk categories of automation. I kind of grayed out the low end of the spectrum, again, trying to kind of keep that off to the background and call attention to the at-risk portion. Also, I should note that the guy in the photo, I just thought he kind of looked concerned, worried. I thought it was relevant to the position I'm taking in my infographic. You'll see that the categories that I displayed there, this is all based on information that I cite throughout the infographic. And you'll see that, for instance, in that high risk category, what makes it high risk is that 70% or more of the tasks associated with that job, if those can be automated, that makes that position a high risk category for automation. I then take that and boil it down into risk by ethnicity. This really illustrates that it doesn't matter who you are, you're at risk. Even the least at risk, being the Asian and Pacific Islanders, are still hovering right around 38% at risk of having their job automated, with the Hispanic population being somewhere in the 47% range. So this should be a warning to whichever background a person's viewing this. They'll be able to hone in on what's relevant to them in particular, and also perhaps get some comparison if they're interested in that. And then carry on to area here where you'll see that I wanted to explain why. So I lead up with information that, hey, this is going on, you need to be aware of it. And then I wanted to carry it on and explain why people are doing this, why companies would be interested in this, and explaining that it's not just some fad that's going to go away. So since 2004, each new robot installed has displaced 1.6 worker. And it's cheaper now to buy a robot than it is to hire a person. In addition to that, we have increased safety because you don't have to worry about employees getting hurt in a critical operation. You also, going with the cost savings and improved safety, you don't have to pay for health insurance. You don't have to worry about a lawsuit because somebody got hurt. You don't have to worry about somebody taking a break every half hour or any number of things, or taking the day off, or you don't have to worry about changing shifts. You can simply run the robot all the way through. And as Oxford Economics stated in their study, you'll see there that they estimate 8.5% of global manufacturing workforce stands to be replaced by robots. That figure is in the tens of millions of jobs that will be lost within the next short period of time, roughly 10 years time. Again, I stuck with the gray background. You'll notice here that I also included another kind of grayed out, menacing type robot sitting back there ready to take another person's job. So, but I didn't want it to be a product that didn't have a solution or didn't have a bright side to it. So while I was presenting facts that people need to be aware of and facts that could be alarming, I wanted to also offer that it's not all necessarily doom and gloom. There can be some opportunity for a job retention or job retraining. So I mentioned here, I start this section with get a jump on retraining. The information in one of my sources said that the retraining costs for the American workforce is expected to be around $34 billion. So not cheap, but possible. And they also highlighted some specific areas that are, careers at high risk. Now, they listed all the information as, here's every career and its associated risk percentage. What I chose to do here is highlight some in red that are at high risk, indicating that, hey, if I'm in this job, I may want to make retraining a priority for me. Or if I'm not yet in the workforce and I'm just now getting educated or looking to enter the workforce, maybe those are careers I might want to steer away from, or at least understand they're at risk. And then secondly, and I used the blue color to, again, a little hope, a little different feel to it. I highlighted some that were under 25% at risk. All the categories in red are at 50% or greater risk. Everything in blue is 25% or less. So if somebody's entering future prospects, entering the market, maybe they want to look at some sort of management position or social services, architecture, etc. And I ended that particular section with this photo. To me, this photo had a little hope to it. To me, it looked like, okay, yeah, here we're down in the bottom left quadrant. Things aren't great. Jobs have been lost due to automation. But with training and technology combined, we can sharpen that curve, get it moving back up in the right direction, and bring us back to the workforce. And along those lines, what more appropriate than our fine Rosie, who's doing what she can to keep America rolling in World War II, an iconic infographic in and of itself. And these photos, by the way, and artwork in this case, were all available on Pixabay, which I did mention in one of my reference lines in the infographic. And then I threw in the quote from Catherine Newman of UMass, indicating the future of the U.S. workforce will rely on AI, but don't count human workers out just yet. I wanted to leave that little bit of inspiration that, hey, yeah, things are tough in the meanwhile with jobs going away due to automation, but as long as you are aware of it, make appropriate changes and perhaps some retraining, there's opportunity for us all to maintain healthy employment and keep on trucking. So I hope you found that not my language not to be too distracting as I'm narrating through this, and I hope you find that the infographic was useful and interesting. Thank you very much.